Here we're in Make. You can see we have these nicely colored modules here that are connected with these lines. You can move them around. When your automation starts to get messy, there's this auto align feature that's really cool. It's not as impressive when there's only 2 modules, but you can see when you have a automation that is more complex, and let's say you're building it out and it just looks a little bit messy. Naturally, when you build something, it's not quite as perfect, but you can always come down here to this magic align and just pop it back into place. So even when you have pretty complex automations, you can always get them to look relatively clean. And that definitely does make it easier to work with. Now, when you start to work with automations in N8N, it's definitely going to have a more technical feel to it and a less polished look in terms of just having everything nicely organized and clean, like these little colored modules. Every module that you work with is going to have a slightly different color. So you got your HTTP module, this is blue. Then you've got your webhook, this is red. So these colors, even in a subtle way, make it much easier to just visually see things at a glance. In N8N, things start to blend together a bit more. But of course, if you really focus in on each individual module, you can see exactly what it is. But it's just harder to do at a glance, and you really have to look a little bit more closely. Everything is gray except for the logo. So it's definitely not something that you can't get over. And I find that once you start to work in either one of these, they both start to feel normal. So it's only really when you go from one to the other the first time where you start to say, wow, this looks a lot different. I like the other way. But once you work in either one of these, honestly, you'll get used to either one.